What's going on, guys, and welcome to Highly and Alph Gaming. I'm your host, Alph, and did you know that I like Pikmin? I know it might sound hard to believe, but I'm a pretty big fan of the Pikmin series, so today I'm making the first installment of a 3-part, hopefully 4 soon, series where I take a close look at each mainline Pikmin game and see what it has to offer. Its strengths, weaknesses, what it did for the series, that kind of thing. You could call it a retrospective or review series, I don't really know what I'm calling it yet, but for now I'm just calling it an old school game review for the sake of branding. I'd be happy to take your suggestions for what to call it down in the comments below. Anyway, you may remember that I said I'd be doing the same thing for the 3D Mario games a while back in my Mario Sunshine review, and I have some kind of difficult news to give on that front. I won't be continuing that series anytime soon. There are a few reasons that I haven't and am not planning to finish the 3D Mario series soon, namely the fact that I haven't actually beaten Super Mario Galaxy, but the biggest reason for this is that nobody watched my Mario Sunshine review. I've never spent so much time scripting and planning out my thoughts on a game than I did in that review, especially part 2 of it, but that part 2 is the least viewed non-Let's Play on my channel. I'm really not trying to complain here, just to provide an explanation as to why that series is currently dead, but yeah, now that I've explained that, back to Pikmin. I plan to actually finish this Pikmin series within the next few months, mostly because I really want to make all the episodes this time, but I've been talking about this for way too long, so let's just jump into the video. Pikmin Review. In case you're not familiar with Pikmin, let me give you a quick rundown of what it's all about. The game starts with the player character, Captain Olimar, in his spaceship, the SS Dolphin, flying through space. An asteroid hits him mid-flight, sending him hurtling toward the Earth-like planet below him. Olimar crashes to the ground of this mysterious planet and quickly discovers that 30 of his ship parts have broken off and scattered across the planet during impact. The goal of Pikmin is to find and retrieve these 30 parts, repairing the SS Dolphin and allowing Olimar to return home. Olimar won't be retrieving these parts alone, however, because he quickly discovers these adorable little plant-animal hybrids that he calls Pikmin. These Pikmin can be herded and thrown around by Olimar, and they can both attack enemies and carry things back to your base. They can carry the missing parts back to Olimar's ship, or they can carry round little pellets or deceased enemies back to the object they spawn from, the onion. When one of these pellets or dead enemies is sucked up into the onion, it makes more Pikmin, and this is the core gameplay of the series. You use Pikmin to carry things back to base and make more Pikmin, which I find extremely satisfying. That's about all we need to get started though, so let's get analyzing. I've already said that I find the core concept of Pikmin very satisfying, again using Pikmin to carry things back to base, so now let's talk about how the worlds are built to accommodate this gameplay. A few of the ship parts you need to bring back to base are just kind of sitting out in the open, but not too many of them. It's really just a handful of them, and they provide a nice sense of accomplishment without making the game too easy. The majority of parts, however, are blocked by some kind of wall, large enemy, or puzzle, and these instances will make up the bulk of a playthrough in this game. Something I probably should have mentioned before is that there are different Pikmin types with different abilities, but who cares that I waited, because that's what we're talking about right now. In the first Pikmin game, there are 3 Pikmin types which you unlock over the course of your first few days in the game: Red Pikmin, Yellow Pikmin, and Blue Pikmin, in that order. Red Pikmin are resistant to fire and are the strongest fighters, Yellow can be thrown extra high and carry bomb rocks, which are the only way to open bomb walls, and Blue Pikmin are the only ones who don't die in water. Okay, those are the Pikmin types, bam, I went over them. Anyway, so you know how in a lot of games the game will introduce a bunch of new features and then just never use them? Like in a certain game with a water jetpack that has a bunch of uses, you basically never use half of its features. Please watch my Mario Sunshine review. Yeah, well, Pikmin is one of the few games I can think of that actually uses pretty much all of its features to a satisfying degree. In most of the levels, there are enemies that shoot out fire, so you need to use Red Pikmin. There are a lot of high ledges that you need to throw Yellow Pikmin onto. There aren't too many mandatory bomb walls, but I really like that because it's a pain to get a bunch of bomb rocks. Lastly, most levels have some pond or lake thing that you have to bring Blue Pikmin for. A lot of the little obstacles blocking ship parts can be solved with just one type of Pikmin, but a few of the more difficult parts require multiple Pikmin types to be used in conjunction, which is pretty cool. There's this one place in a level called the Distant Spring where you have to bring Blue Pikmin through the water, turn them into Yellow Pikmin with this thing called a Candy Pop Bud so you can reach the part on a high ledge, then turn them back into Blue Pikmin so you can carry the part back to base. That puzzle may be the most complicated one in the game, and it, along with other similar challenges, come very close to crossing the border from challenging to annoying. Sometimes the Pikmin don't move exactly how you want them to, and you're just awkwardly stuck in a corner with a bunch of Pikmin spilling off the ledge you want to throw them on, all the while desperately trying not to throw non-blue Pikmin into the water. The frustrating dealing with Pikmin nicely segues into my next topic, the frustrating ways you deal with Pikmin. Moving your Pikmin around is fine for the most part, but especially in this first game, the game's main task is greatly burdened by one simple fact. Your Pikmin are frickin' stupid! Part of the difficulty in Pikmin comes from the fact that Pikmin will only do things if you tell them to, so you need to be the one to make sure everything goes well. But in the first Pikmin game, the Pikmin do certain things without you telling them to, and not good things either. You'll just be walking along with a group of Pikmin when they start pulling on the grass, or trying to pick up a pellet. Sometimes they just trip and fall for no reason. And okay, so you can use your whistle to call Pikmin toward you, and sometimes this saves them from hazards, like these frog things that jump up and slam on the ground to eat your Pikmin. The problem is, it takes a second for the Pikmin to run back to you when you you call them. With the timing on these frog things, then, that essentially makes it impossible to save Pikmin stuck under the frog. So unless you're some kind of god who never accidentally has Pikmin under one of the frogs during the fight, you're basically guaranteed to lose at least a few Pikmin every time you fight one. Okay, the last part about the frog and calling Pikmin was probably just me not being super good at the first Pikmin, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Your Pikmin don't always move how you want them to, and if you're fighting the controls in a game rather than the enemies, that's not good. I have plenty more positive things to say, don't worry, but before we get to those, I have one more noteworthy complaint. It's way too easy to lose your Pikmin in this game. Later installments in the franchise remedy this pretty well for the most part, but in the first Pikmin game, pretty much every enemy is able to take out most of your Pikmin very easily. You can just be fighting a guy, but then you make one wrong move and one of his boulders wipes out your entire army. Again, future Pikmin games definitely improve upon this, but it doesn't exactly feel fair that it's so easy to lose so many Pikmin. Yeah, you could say that I'm just used to modern games with their hand-holding and constant tutorials, and I think this kind of challenge is fun in small doses, but that doesn't change my opinion on the matter. I just don't think it's fair to have 80% of your resources taken away by a single attack. This kind of instance happens less and less the more I play Pikmin though, so maybe it is a fair challenge. I'll let you decide that one for yourselves. That's enough negative stuff though, now let's talk about the world a little more. This time it's bosses. Many of the ship parts in Pikmin are locked behind bosses who, I guess, ate whatever part you get from beating them? I don't really know, you just kinda kill them and the part pops out of nowhere, so I guess, yeah, sure, the bosses ate the parts. Anyway, I'd say the bosses in Pikmin are pretty good. Some of them are just big enemies, but others have neat little gimmicks to them, like how you have to throw Pikmin into his vacuum hole thingy to open his weak spot up. The bosses aren't anything special, and there really aren't a lot of them, but I think they're pretty cool. Okay, before we wrap up this review, let's talk about how the first Pikmin game affected the Pikmin franchise, and since it is the first Pikmin game, it obviously did a lot. This wasn't just the first Pikmin game, it was the first game to really be in the same style as Pikmin. I'll admit, I don't know a ton about all the different types of games there are, but I think Pikmin is an almost entirely unique game franchise. With other games you could say, oh, this one's a platformer like Mario, or this is an open world game like Skyrim, but I can't really compare Pikmin to anything and still capture what Pikmin is. It's kind of an RTS game, but Pikmin 1 is still an incredibly unique gameplay style that I absolutely love. It has its quirks, like the awkwardness in controlling Pikmin, but it laid the groundwork for what I think is an incredible series of games. As the title of this video implies, this game is the birth of a masterpiece. This first game isn't the most tightly designed piece of software in the world, but its core concept is good enough for me to give it a 7 out of 10. It kind of hurts me to say that based on how much I love this game, but I'm trying to be as fair as possible. Anyway, I'll definitely be giving out some higher scores for the next Pikmin games, so stay tuned for those within the next few months. Thanks for watching, everyone. My Pikmin 2 review won't be my next video, or probably my next video, and that's because I still need to get Pikmin 2. I'll have it pretty soon though, so in the meantime, tell me what you thought of the video down in the comments below. Do you think Pikmin 1 is a good game? Do you like Pikmin in general? Answer carefully, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a great day!